free college tuition for New Haven kids. Next. Welcome to the Stan Simpson Show, a program about Connecticut people and compelling issues, making a point to drop in every week. It's a novel scholarship venture between Yale and the city of New Haven. New Haven high school students who sustain a B average will get a full ride to a public university in Connecticut. We'll talk about this unique partnership with New Haven Schools Chief Reginald Mayo and Jim Starr of Achieve Hartford. In our second segment, 80 games and counting, the UConn women's basketball team continues its impressive run of victories, looking to surpass the all-time consecutive streak of 88 set by John Wooden's UCLA team. Current UConn beat writer John Altavilla talks about these new Huskies and Coach Gio Auriemma's nomination for the prestigious Sports Illustrated Sportsman of the Year honor. Then we'll wrap things up with a look at the UConn men, bogged down with 6 freshmen. WTIC's Scott Gray joined us. Right now, though, folks, free tuition for New Haven students. Yale University, New Haven, Reginald Mayo, Jim Starr. Pretty big deal, unprecedented. Yale putting its money where its mouth is. What does it mean for the city of New Haven?
Okay, first of all, it means that our young people will have an opportunity to go to college. Let me just say that we have $8,000 that youngsters can get up to, which is tuition for UConn. Our young people, if they're eligible, will be able to go to any 2 or 4-year state institution with those dollars. And of course, we're very, very excited. The whole community of New Haven is abuzz about this development between the mayor of New Haven, the Board of Education, and, of course, Rick Levin, who is the guy that brokered this deal with the city of New Haven. So
that tuition, would it include room and board or just pure, tuition?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so it would just be everything, full ride, right?
No, just the tuition.
Okay.
No books, okay, no fees, no room and board.
Okay.
This is the tuition amount for UConn, which is about we'll pay up to $8,000.
Right.
Let me just say we're starting a program this year with our seniors. The eligibility requirements are you have to have 90% attendance, you have to have good behavior, you have to do some civic responsibility, meaning you have 40 hours that you must provide for community service, and the most important thing is you have to have a 3.0 grade point average.
Okay.
In order to keep the scholarship, you've got to have a 2.5 grade point average in college, which is a great thing. And you will have up to 5 years in our 4-year institutions, and you will have up to 3 years of scholarship money in our 2-year state institutions.
Jim Starr, you're education reform activist here in Hartford. Your thoughts when you first read about this?
Well, it's very exciting. You have a program like that gives opportunities to students who may not otherwise have that, and it's certainly the way it was structured to have them make sure they have higher expectations as well. As college, as students become college and career ready, the last thing we want to do is make sure we don't lower any standards for that. So the program that was set up provides the financial opportunities for them, provides standards for them to strive for as well. So having something like that, both from an academic perspective, certainly some economic advantages for the city to start having opportunities for students like that. I think it's great, and it creates, when you combine that with school systems that are doing great things for kids, and you supplement it with a program as large as this and expansive as this, it's a great thing for a whole community.
I suspect now people will look at New Haven and say, listen, I'm going to bring my kid over there and try to maximize this program. Are you expecting a housing boom and people moving in now to take advantage of this?
Well, part of the goal of this is economic development, and to have individuals to move into the city of New Haven and hopefully provide some tax money. Let me just say that. Yes, that's what it's about, economic development also, as well as getting our kids prepared for college, which is my job, to get them prepared for college. And, of course, Yale's job will be to try to provide some financial support for them. So I think it's a win-win for the city. We think that it will reduce the dropout rate. We think that it will reduce those young people that, think about incarceration or do things that will lead to that. We also think that it will get more of our young people to go to college. And, of course, we have a pretty good rate of youngsters that graduate to go on to college, but we should have more. We should have more kids staying in school, as I mentioned also.
There's a real clear carrot here for kids and parents. What about though grade inflation? Now you have people maybe well-intended, it's a B average. You have a system now that decides, well, you know what, it's a C plus, let's make it a B so little Johnny can go to college. What about that potential unintended consequence of grade inflation?
Well, this is a motivating factor for young people. Yes, it is. It's a motivating factor to change their behavior, that they will work hard. If they work hard, if they change their behavior by coming to school 90% of the time, yes, that will be a pot of gold at the end for them. I'm hoping that it would change, or we're hoping that it would change parents in terms of how they engage in our kids' education. Johnny, you know, if you go to school, do what you're supposed to do, I don't have to pay all of your college tuition.
But my question is, what if that teacher starts giving out what I call a soft B? It's really a C plus or a C, but the kid's a good kid, and you know what, he can get a scholarship, so I'm going to give that C plus a B. Jim, you talk about that. What are your concerns about how do you prevent that?
Well, certainly it's no way do you want to lower any standards too, but some of the provisions that were laid out in this, maintaining a minimum GPA in college as well. So you graduate students that are college and career ready, who are capable of matriculating well into college by maintaining minimum standards there. Well, that'll go a long way to do it. So you cannot have soft grades in high school, because in order to maintain this type of financial incentive, you have to perform well in college as well. So some of those incentives are aligned.
And I think, you know, those soft grades will show up in things like the CAP exam, which is a state assessment. I think it will show up on the SAT test and those kinds of things. So it doesn't do a teacher any good to do that to a youngster. We want our kids not just to graduate, but to graduate and be prepared to go to college and be successful.
How about staying power? We know now across the state a big problem with kids going to college, getting in, but not staying for different reasons. What's happening there where you have a situation where Connecticut kids are graduating, going to college, but not graduating from college?
Well, that becomes a part of the goals that I have set with the Board of Education. The goals are, you know, get those young people into college, but of course the staying power is going to be important. How many of those kids are going to get to stay 2 years? We're going to be tracking our kids better. How many are going to get to stay 3? How many are going to graduate? And we're going to be staying on top of that. The other part of his promise thing is there's a second part of it called Promise Partnership. The mayor had a press conference today with an organization called College Summit. And we're going to hire College Summit to come in and set up, cultivate a college-going attitude and aspiration for college with our young people starting in pre-K, okay, all the way up so that when the kids do get to high school, they're already cultivated and want to go to college and have been doing that. And we've been working with them for 8 years, 9 years.
So college prep in the early levels.
Early level, starting in pre-K. And the group that we're going to be working with, College Summit, will be coming up with some messaging. That will be coming up with working and training community people to work with kids and give them the support that they need to go to college and be prepared.
The 20-second Jim Starr, how do you leverage this? You're an education reform person. Now, how do you go out to your partners and say, hey, look what's happening in New Haven? Who do you go out and talk to? Can you duplicate it? Will you duplicate it?
You know, it's hard to say. You know, anytime you have a program like this in an urban center, you're doing well. But what you certainly want to emulate is a program like New Haven, great school district, working with all of their partners as well. Now having another program on the outside. So as soon as you bring the whole community together, creating different means to helping kids graduate, being college and career ready, with a number of tools, a number of support mechanisms, including payment for college, that's a great thing to do. And Hartford is moving towards that direction. It'll be a great thing to continue.
Okay, Jim Starr, Chief Hartford, Dr. Reginald Mayo, New Haven Superintendent. When we come back, folks, we'll talk to the Currents, John Altavilla, about the impressive win streak of the UConn women's basketball team. You are watching The Stan Simpson Show.